What's going on, everybody? Nerd of the 90s here, and I'm here to review the Monster. I don't know if it's going to call it Cinematic Universe, the Monster Universe, so what you would call it. So, yeah, I'm going to call it that way. So, let's talk about the very first movie that kind of kickstarted the Monster Universe, which is back with Godzilla 2014, a reboots, if some sorts. Because they rebooted this movie like crazy. But over there in Japan, they know how to do the work. But here, this is actually a new story, a modern story for Godzilla, though. And this is where it's like, it's going to be building up the monster universe. This is not quite the first one, though. But this is like the first movie that kickstarted pretty much everything, though. So here it is, Godzilla from 2014, directed by Gareth Edwards, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ken Watanabe, Elizabeth Olsen, and Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston. I got that right. All right, so let's start off here first. The story picks up exactly, let's just say started back from the past. It starts with Joe Brody and his wife. They're actually working in a nuclear power plant up in Japan. But things go completely bad because one of the, there's like this one huge explosion that happens, like a big, huge nuclear overreaction happens. And well, after that, things fall apart. Joe watches his wife come back, not make it back to him. So with that, she dies, and the nuclear power plant just immediately just erupts, and then everything from there just goes bad. And then while we see a young version of Ford Brody, which is Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, but it's not him, it's his younger self. Well, watch like the whole destruction, and then with that, we get to see Joe Brody, who pretty much just goes crazy. He is curious of why the nuclear power plant completely overreacted, and why is the reason because of what happened. And with that, that's how the story builds up. It's unknown to see what the nuclear power plant was hiding and why did it erupted. Everything was unknown. He wants to get to the very bottom of this. And things completely unfold in a very, let's just say it's a slow pace, but a slow burn that builds up something really big. But in the end, it just completely falters. Let's just say the monsters don't show up in the beginning, but they do show up in the end. But you get to see some Easter eggs of where Godzilla was at, like since like the whole, before like the nuclear power plant completely exploded. And also where Godzilla was living out the whole time, and he's been living like like some sort of caves and stuff like that. And with that, that's all the story pretty much just sets up, though. And yeah, that's about it. The story is good, but at the same time, it's passable, though. As for Aaron Taylor Johnson playing his character Ford Brody, who plays like a now grown up soldier who has pretty much moved on from his mom's death and is pretty much just suffering like some situation going on with his father. And also since he's married and he is a father, we see like things completely unfold when he's investigating about the unknown things that have been happening. And then after that, we get to see more about his relationship between him and his father, even though it's kind of short-lived, though. But in the end, his character, pretty much all he is just a soldier. It's just a generic soldier who pretty much helps provide for his wife and his son. And also, he's pretty much motivated to do much better and not completely act like a loose cannon like his father. And yeah, it's kind of passable, though, because pretty much like everybody just wants to focus on the monsters, and that's about it. But Aaron Taylor Johnson at least does a pretty passable job playing his character. So yeah, let's just say Elizabeth Olsen's character as Elle Brody, she plays a pretty good character as the wife, though. She's a nurse, she's a mother, and she takes care of her kid. And she looks after her son, and then and also talks to her husband to see how he's going. And it's about it. Let's just say, don't call me an a-hole, guys, but I rather just talk about like, let's just say all the fans really care about is just like, when are we gonna see Godzilla? When are we gonna see Godzilla? When are we gonna see Godzilla? We'll get there in a moment. So yeah. She's passable. She's pretty good, though. Even though, like everybody, like I said, like everybody just cares about the monsters, so we get a pass with that. So I'll give a pass to Elizabeth Olsen. At least she's there to provide some supporting cast. At least she's kind of a bit of a generic character, but not too generic. But it's passable. So yeah. As for Heisenberg, Joe Brody, played by Bryan Cranston, he goes. Let's just say before he was a good father until a nuclear power plant accident happens and then his wife dies inside of it. He completely just loses it and he doesn't want to move on from like what really happened inside the power plant. And it's been years that everything like completely unfolded. And right after he goes and checks like what really happened there, he finds out. And right after he finds out, though, what really sucks, though, here's the thing. he was the only character that was very likable. Unlike Ford, though, Ford is a very likable character. Elle, yeah, she's there. He was great though, but what sucks is that he was wasted in this movie. You only see him in the beginning, and nearly halfway of the movie, nearly halfway through the second act, he's gone. So everybody was really mad about that, but at least he did it as much as he can. Give emotion and also lore to the story, a little bit lore to the story, and to see what really happened between the nuclear power plant. And that, well, is what it is. So I'm a little divided. He does his good job. He does a really good job here as his character, as Joe Brody, but in the end, he kind of got wasted. So it kind of sucks. And you guys are talking about what are we going to talk about Godzilla? Here he is, Godzilla. He was also wasted. You only see, after 40 minutes of this 2-hour movie, like nearly more than 40 minutes of the movie, you see Godzilla, but you only see snippets of him. Snippets. You see, in the beginning you get to see where he was at, but you don't see his body. You see where he's been living at. And after that, I don't even know if Godzilla's a he or she, so I'm a little confused about that too, so. You only get to see Godzilla in the 40-minute mark, and all I can say is this. People were mad that Godzilla was fat. But I was okay with it because, hey, you want to see another generic look of Godzilla? You want to see a modern look of Godzilla? Let's just say let's just go with that. So they went with a little bit of a big, slimmer Godzilla, and he looked really cool, but damn, he was wasted in this movie. Also, after 40 minutes of the movie, and it focuses more on the humans, it was just wasted. And all I can say is Godzilla looked really cool. He looked awesome, but my God, he was wasted in this movie. And you only see hints of him, then it focuses on the humans, and then you get hints of him, then it focuses on the humans, and then you get to see the big battle, and it's really one of the best battles I've seen by far from a monster movie, and it was really good. We'll get to that in some part, though, because we're going to explain another character, though. So, yeah, I'm a little divided on this because Godzilla, when he shows up, awesome. But then when he shows up but it has, less screen time, I was just mad about it. Because all the fans wanted was to see Godzilla. And it focused too much on the humans. And Godzilla just pretty much was just left in the background. So, I keep saying also all the time, so I got to keep controlling that. We're going to talk about the big one here, the monster, the very newest monster in Godzilla universe, Muto. I don't know what it stands for. It's going to be put down here, so yeah, you guys are going to be knowing that. There is two Mutos, a female and a male, and wow, they looked terrifying, and at least they were not completely wasted in the movie, though. Muto had a lot more screen time than Godzilla, believe it or not. And that was the real deal that happened in the power plant. And that's why Joe Brody got mad. And Muto was... all I can say is this. Muto is one of the most terrifying monsters I have seen by far. And it scares me more than King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah looks really scary as of today, though. But Muto back in 2014... one of the scariest monster I have seen in a monster movie, and I'll admit that. And yeah, after that, King Ghidorah showed up, and yeah, they're pretty much both tied. Muto looks really good. The female and the male, the husband and the wife, I should say, looks really cool, though. At least it didn't have wasted potential, so Muto was absolutely cool, though. And the showdown between two Mutos against one Godzilla, that was actually really cool, though. And with a little bit of help of the army and Aaron Taylor-John's character, Ford Brody. That was actually really cool, though, and wow, the fight between Godzilla and Muto, though, that was absolutely cool. How the way he finishes off the husband, how the way he finishes off the wife. I'm just giving a demonstration of how it goes, so don't say what the hell you're doing. So I'm just demonstrating. And let's talk about another side character that I didn't get to mention. Dr. Shirasawa, played by Ken Watanabe, another character that I forgot to mention here too. He does provide enough lore to the story because he's investigating about where Godzilla's located in. And this is the guy who's pretty much a huge fan of Godzilla and how the way Godzilla pretty much is, though. And yeah, he's done his research and he pretty much knows what's all about, though. And at least here he provides more character here too. And then he pretty much demonstrates to the army Godzilla is not our enemy. He's pretty much our pet. And we don't have to treat him as our pet. He's Godzilla, and you have to treat him with respect. And he's the reason why the Earth is still standing because of these monsters. And believe it or not, we have to listen. And to me, I really did like his character, Dr. Sirazawa, played by Ken Watanabe, and he does a very passable job too. And even though he does have screen time too, so you're going to be seeing him a lot in this movie though, from the beginning all the way to the very end though. Even though it's not going to be the last we're going to be seeing him too, because Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, and also, Bryan Cranston. Yeah, we're not going to be seeing him in sequels, so that's what sucks. But we do get to see Ken Watanabe in Godzilla, King of Monsters, so yay! And then another doctor too that also shows up too. She's from The Shape of Water. I think she's also in it too, so okay, awesome. Well, let's start off with the cons of the movie. Like I said, the action is just very minor though, but when Muto shows up, it's really cool though. But for Godzilla, he's just in the background waiting. Yeah, that's about it. He's just waiting in the background and like, okay, when's my turn? Not man yet. I was upset about that too. Godzilla was pretty much wasted in this movie. You only get to see like 20 minutes of him though, 20 minutes of screen time, 20 to 30 minutes at least. And I was upset. But Godzilla looked really cool. People were mad that he was a little fat, but I didn't mind. I did not mind. And yeah, and then also another cons of the movie too, the action. It's very minor. Muto gets more of the action, and Godzilla just pretty much gets left in the background too. So that's about it. That was my only cons of the movie. I was really upset and completely depressed about what happened because it focused a lot on the human characters. Some human characters here are much more likable though, but even though they're a bit generic, but at the same time, everybody was expecting to see Godzilla more and more often too, so at least that. Is this movie worth watching? I would say go watch it because right now, I think they're giving it at the TV right now in the next 25 minutes and I'm going to go watch it again. I like the movie. It's really good though. Back in the day, I gave it like here's my final verdict. Back in the day, I gave it like a 6 out of 10, but right now, where it stands right now, here's the thing. There's not much Godzilla, I understand, but the build-up to get to Godzilla, it's worth watching though because it's really cool. But what sucks is he's left in the background waiting while Muto is causing a lot of wreck and havoc. You only get to see Godzilla and Muto fight against each other in Hawaii, but that fight was completely cut off. And you only get to see, like, the news, what really happened. And I was like, really? You just wasted Godzilla and the Muto fight. And then also we get to see Muto invading a train. I think it was, like, somewhere outside of an island and stuff like that. And then they kind of, like, take it down. They kill some soldiers. Aaron Taylor Johnson and a couple of other soldiers were left alive. Then Muto goes to San Francisco and gets there. And then Godzilla shows up right there at the nick of time. Takes down the Golden Gate Bridge and causes havoc and fights against Muto. And that's about it. And yeah, so, yeah, I'm going to have to go with a 7 out of 10. It's a great movie. Not a good seal of approval, but it's a great movie and it's a great watch. So, that's about it. Unlike the Godzilla from 1998, though. Jesus, that one was really bad. I watched it and it was not good at all. Sorry, Roland Emmerich, but it was not good. So yeah, guys, that's about it. Next up, I'll be doing Kong Skull Island. So, is this one going to be an improvement over Godzilla 2014 reboots? We'll find out in the next video, guys, so I'll be seeing you then.